Hey, hello, folks. It's Coach Blue for you. And today's topic is awareness. Kind of talked about that before in the past about being aware, paying attention to different things. And this is kind of an extension, not kind of, it's an extension of that about just different things in your daily ventures to pay attention to or to be aware, per se. Um, there was a lot of briefing or information or warnings about folks to take heed and take extra precautions in reference to the inauguration after the week of the insurrection at the Capitol on a possible, dangerous activity, terroristic threats, just random opportunities of violence throughout the nation and throughout the world, but more specifically here in the United States. So it was spread or shared with a lot of folks about just paying attention based on who you are, who you associate with, what you do, what your beliefs are, that some were at greater risk than others, and that it would be important to pay attention to what you do on a daily basis. For as simple as just going to the store or walking to your mailbox, just doing your daily activities and having extra awareness. Um, in lieu of the inauguration being it's over, it's almost a week now. Well, it's just short of a week. It's about 6 days passing. Not much has gone on as far as those acts were that were talked about or that were predicted. But it doesn't mean that that threat is over. It doesn't mean that you should be careless. It doesn't mean that you should not pay attention. It does not mean that you should not be aware. It just means that at this point in time, the noise level is moderate. But it doesn't mean you should go to sleep and not pay attention. And what I mean is simple things from, like I said, pay attention to your surroundings. Those of you who drive often, and this is also for the younger adult teen group, a lot of times they think things won't happen to them or they're kind of exempt. But while you're out driving, keep your doors locked. Keep your doors locked on your automobile at all times. As soon as you get in your vehicle, lock your doors. Keep your doors locked until it's time for you to get out and go into wherever you're going to your home or to wherever you're headed to. And the reason is it's so easy. People don't pay attention or listen to music. They're texting, they're talking on the phone, and their doors are unlocked. It's so easy for someone to walk up, get in your car with you, and jack you. Those who are not familiar with the word jack, that means either to take your car, to rob you, or to take your car and rob you, and or maybe take your life. So that simple measure, once you get in your car, locking your door, I mean, go ahead and do that. People say, I forgot. I don't understand that. How do you forget? If your life isn't important to you, then you will take the special measures and awareness precautions just to protect yourself. So keep your doors locked. For those of you who live in a home or even an apartment, wherever you live, and you may not like it, and I don't like it either, but based off the times you're living in, keep your doors locked to your home. I used to at one time didn't mind keeping my doors unlocked or at least the main door open. And you could walk through the screen door and walk in the home and just kind of free. But you can't, well, my suggestion is don't do that anymore. Keep your doors locked. There's nothing more terrifying or more shocking or astonishing than you're in the comfort of your own home doing whatever you do, with you by yourself or your family, and somebody walks through your door unannounced, unwelcomed, um, and it turns into a different scenario, most likely negative. So protect yourself from that and keep your doors locked. Those of you who have windows on levels that are easily accessible, when you're not home, keep them closed. Keep them closed and locked. Don't leave them open. I'll be back in a few minutes, or same thing with your door, your house. Oh, I'll be back. I'll be right back. And it's no big deal. It only takes 5 seconds to walk in a home. If I'm casing your place, as soon as you clear the driveway or somewhat out of sight, easy access. And I've got about 5 minutes to do whatever I want to do, or just hide out till you come back. So keep your house guarded, keep your automobile guarded. Those of you who carry weapons of various kinds, be prepared. Make sure you're familiar with your weapon, that you know how to operate and use it. If you've never used it or fired it or operated it or put it into action, I highly suggest that you go practice and make sure you stay ready or on alert at all times. And if you choose to use it, and the idea that something is dangerous or you feel threatened, my suggestion based off experience is don't use it as a threat, use it as a solution. So, in simplicity, if you have a pistol or a rifle, whatever, don't take it out to scare somebody or to threaten them to go away or to do something different that you want them to do. You use it, take it out with the intent to protect yourself. And if that means taking their life to protect your life, then you operate with that intent. Um, a lot of folks use it as a scare tactic and with the fear of, I can't take someone else's life. And I understand that's a hard pill to swallow or sometimes a hard thing to deal with psychologically, but the other person may not be thinking that way you're thinking. And the whole idea of why you most likely went to purchase or to own that type of weapon, whatever it may be, was to protect yourself. So go all the way through the measures. Go from A to Z. Don't go to A to B and stop. And so when the other items happen, that you're ready. You want to be prepared. That's part of being aware as well. Um, those who keep them in your home also obviously keep them in an area that you're ready to use them or they're easily accessible. So if you have a home invasion, it's kind of messed up if it's locked in the safe. Um, and or that your ammo and magazines and weapon are all separated and you have to go because the person that's coming in, they're not going to wait for you to get your stuff ready for you to defend yourself. That's not what they're going to do. So you need to be ready. I'm advocating being safe. If you have children and elderly folks or other folks in the home, then you need to take proper precaution, but you also need to be ready. Don't get caught off guard. Um, your daily adventures as far as driving, pay attention to things that are happening around you as far as cars driving, cars following you, people acting just differently that may give you awareness of like something's not right and for you to take a different type of action or solution. Have an escape route everywhere you go. Pre-think your not your pattern, but your route daily. Whether you take walks through the neighborhood or neighborhoods, whether you go to the gym, whether you drive back and forth to work, to the store, whatever you do, mentally plan an escape route. Mentally plan an idea or a way. How do you get out of this situation? Or what can you do to help give you some extra time, extra space, some extra um, preparation to protect yourself or to evade the situation. A lot of times, are just evasive actions that can actually save your life. Um, you're saying, Dwayne, this is kind of a lot. I mean, aren't you paranoid or this is a lot of extra? I guess it really depends on where you're at mentally. If you're in the reality of what we have out here today, then maybe not. But if you are realistic about the opportunities or possibilities of what can happen, and I'm basing everything I'm telling you based off of, if not my personal experience, off the experience of people that I know um, that have been in these situations and were not prepared on how to handle or how to deal with them. So please think ahead. Encourage your children to do so as well. Um, in reference to your home, there's some other things you can do. Cars. We'll go back to cars for a second. Dash cams. Buy yourself a dash cam. They're pretty inexpensive. You can leave it on your dash. It's good in reference to you have an accident or something happens or someone tries to set you up with an insurance scam and they brake stop in front of you and you end up hitting them. Um, it'll clearly show what really happened versus your story. If someone's trying to do something to you with reference to you being in your vehicle, it can tape the event. Reference to your home, security, security cameras. They're really inexpensive, or you can pick them up through plans through your cable provider or your phone provider through your local area, or you can pick them up off the internet and you can place them around the place yourself, pick up an app, and then download the information onto your phone and have viewing that way. So, does paranoia is it really paranoia? I don't know. I just think you can't be over prepared, and maybe that's just being in the service for a number of years. I've learned to think through a number of different scenarios and to be prepared, because that's what the military technically prepares you to do. It prepares you to, if you're in this type of scenario, these are options of how you can successfully make it through it. So all the training is always geared to helping you survive. And that's all I'm sharing with you, just different opportunities or different things for you to think about to help you survive in your day-to-day events. Um, they were talking about that in the insurrection a couple weeks ago, and it was a young lady who was snatched. She was walking, um, minding her own business in the area where it was happening, and they actually snatched her up and they beat her, they uh, assaulted her, and actually maced her. And I guess that made me think more about this whole situation. And that's kind of and she was of different ethnicity, Africa. She was black at that point, and the mob was white. But it reminded me of times 20, 30, 40 years ago when people randomly just picked up folks off the side of the road or wherever because they could or thought it was right, and lynched them or killed them or did whatever they wanted to do. In today's time, you might be walking down the street, maybe sitting in your car, and they snatch you and drag you out your car, or you coming out of the grocery store and they just roll up in a truck or a van and snatch you at that point. And this also adds to I happen to live in a city where sex crime or sex trafficking is it's like actually one of the capitals in the U.S. for that, as far as taking young men and women off the street to put them into that life. So that's part of being aware too. You just can't be careful enough. So you don't want to be paranoid, or bring paranoia to you. Just want you to be mindful. I want you to be thoughtful. I want you to have an awareness that maybe you haven't had before. And if it just means you take an extra step in something to be a little bit more cautious, a little bit more prepared or aware, and it happens to save your life or happens to save a family member's life, then I've done my job. And that's all I'm asking. Just asking for everyone to be safe. I'm asking for everyone to be prepared, to be aware, pay attention. Things, the noise isn't quite settled out there. You've got COVID still going on. It's been kind of diverted before the new president stepped up. With him in office now, it's taken a forefront again. So don't let different political topics or financial topics change your focus. Just kind of look at it all under balance and understand that sometimes things are created as a distraction for something else, but more importantly, these things affect you and your family. Can't say enough about COVID. Whatever your beliefs are, just take basic precaution. Keep your hands clean and sanitize as much as you can. Keep your area of your home, your car, parts of it sanitized in high touch zones. Wear a mask where you're supposed to. Um, just follow some of those basic guidelines of social distancing and things of that nature. When it comes to the vaccine, I've got my own beliefs, but you have to do what you believe in. You have to do what you're comfortable with. Um, my belief is different, but there are people out there who are comfortable with that, and if that's where you fall, then you should do what you're comfortable with. And those of you who are not, be mindful of that, but pay attention to the focus and where that might be going in the stipulations that might be placed upon us, as far as whether it's mandatory or not, based off your profession, based off of just a government mandate. So, kind of rambling, but also just like I said, there are a lot of different things I can touch upon in reference to awareness, and I just wanted to share this. So I appreciate you guys. Um, Please hit like if you like the content. Please hit subscribe. Please share me with your family and friends. Um, and most of all, please gain understanding. Peace.